Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of Factorio 0.17 Vanilla start to finish. I'm Xterminator, and we're back. So, I haven't really done any off-camera work. I let the game run for a little bit. Just knocked out some more researches. Nothing super groundbreaking. Just the ability to make signals here for trains. The fluid wagon, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to need that for the oil. And, what else? Like lubricant and plastics, I think. So just prepping for oil. And then, of course, the radars have run. And I don't see any oil up here, but I do see a little edge of some oil here. So I think we're going to head this way. I still think there was oil up there at the top, but I don't really want to spend the time and stuff going and looking for it. So what we're going to do is go grab that oil on the right. Now, what we need is some steel. We need quite a lot of steel. Luckily, we have some here. Actually, have a ton. And we're going to make some more of these. We're out of something. Iron, probably, for these pipes. And then also we need a bunch of rail. Because we are going to train this. This is a... You could pipe it, especially with the pipe optimizations they've introduced in 0.17. However, let's see, how many do we need? 8 more. 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to take a while to craft, but... let's see, what else do we need here? But yeah, personally, I prefer to train it. That is still quite a long distance to run pipes. Now that we're back in, though, I do want to research military science, the ability to make military science, rather, as well as automobilism and landfill. So, with that, let's go ahead and head up there. And there is a base or two, and that we'll probably need to clear this one, actually, which is a bit annoying. Actually, before we leave, one thing I'm going to do here is set up... Where do we want to set this up? Just do a temporary thing right here, because I'm lazy. Like I said, this is super temporary. What we're going to do is we're just going to make a little bit of automated ammo. I think we probably need, like, 2 of these dudes. Here we go. I'll limit this to like 2 stacks. It's going to take a super long time to get that amount anyway, but... okay, so... Let's see. We do have 5 turrets. Let's pair these guys up a little bit. And we are going to need some more ammo, so I'm going to start crafting a little bit of this after these refineries. Track, we did need some stone for that, so let's see if we can... pick up the stone there, position ourselves so we aren't picking up all this coal at the same time. There we go, it's 100 rail. This may not be enough. Mostly I just want to go clear out the area and see how much oil is over there. I don't think we're going to get the entire train system set up this time, because I would like to work on the actual oil build a little bit as well. But we're going to walk on over here. It's a bit of a run, but as we're walking over there, you can kind of visualize how long of a pipeline this would be. It's a bit nuts. It looks like the radar is actually still revealing. This is not bad. 1,390%. I mean, it's certainly not great, but it's not bad either. And the way oil works, I'll show you once we get there. It'll be a bit easier to explain once we're there. Because obviously ore patches work, you know, they're like a flat, you know, they're just a number, like 1.7 million, 216,000. Whereas oil's in percentages, but it basically works the same way. We'll see. You'll see once we get there. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a wibbly-wobbly track through here. Once we get cliff explosives and all that, didn't I research those? Yeah, once we get oil to make explosives, to make cliff explosives, we'll clean this up and actually make a straight line. I do not plan to do spaghetti rails in this base, because I have had quite a few people ask in the comments, you know, can you like show how you do the rails and unloaders and loaders and a good rail system and stuff. So spaghetti rails are not something I really want to demonstrate here. They are viable, but not great, in my opinion, just because the train routing becomes a bit of a headache. So, I'm just clearing these dang trees. Do I have any more grenades, by chance? No. And of course, I was purposely not picking up the coal when I actually need it. So we're just going to have to manually chop some of these, unfortunately. I think this research to get the steel axe, like, research thing, is actually ends up being faster than having the steel axe item that we used to have. Okay, so there's one hidden over here somewhere. It's a bit difficult to see. I'm like on top of it. Okay, it's right there. Right, so oil, if we mouse over this, you can see it's a percentage on the oil well, which really doesn't tell you very much. But if we make a pump jack, which will take a minute, I should have picked up some circuits. Never prepared. Let's go up here. Just trying to clear off these patches so we can actually see all of them. Here he is. Under this tree, I think. Oh, that's not what we wanted. All right, did I just like completely bypass it? Gotta be kidding me, man. It's so hard to see stuff in these dang trees. I still don't see it. Am I just like completely blind? It says I'm on top of it. Oh, it's like under the grass. Maybe I need to turn this foliage off. You can't even see the oil spot. Okay, so if we place now a pump jack on top of this, let's find one that's decent. Oh, that one's not good. Dang. Actually, these are all pretty bad. Okay, let's take this one here. So if we stick a pump jack over here, you can see it's now changed from a percentage, if you look over there on the right, to an actual amount a second. So the percent translates to like a number amount that you're getting per second. And let's do some more research. Flammables, yes please. Batteries, the ability to make advanced circuits would be great. Right, okay, so if we do this, this now is outputting 29.6 oil per second. Okay, so for example, like this one would be giving us 11.4 oil per second, and so on and so forth. These do still deplete as ore patches would, as you pump more out, it depletes. However, where ore patches just deplete entirely, right? Once you mine it out, it's gone. There's nothing left there. Oil wells don't. They get to a minimum amount, and I believe, someone in the comments correct me if I'm wrong because they've changed this multiple times, but I believe the minimum is like 0.2 per second that you can get. Or actually, I think it would be 2 now because they multiplied all liquids by 10 a little while back. But there is that flat minimum, and it will never go below that. So your oil wells will always be functional. Even once they deplete all the way down to that minimum. Granted, it's not very much that you get from it, but what you can do is these guys take modules. So later on, you could add in modules to speed it up, and then add in beacons as well, which is quite a ways down the road. But the beacons will allow you to speed it up even more, to where you can take these quote-unquote depleted oil wells that are at their minimum value and still get a decent amount of oil from them, which is pretty nice. So you can see here, these just have liquid outputs. You can rotate the whole pump jack to put it whichever direction you want. I prefer not to make the rest of these until we get back and make circuits. But you can kind of see how this is going to work. So I may rotate some of these so all the pipes are a bit cleaner and face the directions we want. There is still one oil well, right? Oh, am I on top of it? Okay. I can try to get all these silly things revealed. There is one hiding back here. And then we're going to go clear that base because it is going to be a bit in the way of where we want to... I mean, we can avoid it with the trains, I suppose. It is still a little bit worrying, so let's go take that out. 5 turrets should be more than sufficient. Let's make some repair packs and then a bunch more ammo. We could make some piercing ammo. Takes a lot longer though. Just makes the normal ammo at the moment. Let's dump a little more than half of this in our inventory. So I'm just right-clicking to grab half a stack and then pressing Q. Q will just put back like whatever you've grabbed. Okay, there's a tree. I thought I froze. So we're gonna shift 2 to bring up our correct layout here. Oh, this could actually be dangerous. Can I make... Oh, I can make a heavy armor. Sweet. Okay, let's make that. This is significantly better than the light armor. So you can see here that this has resistances that are pretty much double in most cases. And then also it just has more... Actually, I think they removed durability. It's better though. It's a lot better. So there's a lot of worms here though. This could get a little tricky, guys. This could get a little tricky. I want to play this real safe. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna try to stick this. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna dump half in here, make some more repair packs. Continue repairing him. You're supposed to shoot the worms, man. What are you doing? Okay, got one worm. They're very upset at this point. Okay, so we got one worm and 2 bases, which is good news. Ow. Okay, so he's killing that stuff, which is awesome. I think that's all he can hit, so let's remove him. Okay, so there we go. Just make some more ammo. Go away, bugs! Okay, I'm just waiting for some more ammo to be made. Let's do that. More repair packs. So he's gonna do that, and I can actually help. Oh, geez. I can maybe distract these worms a little bit. Oh my gosh, I almost just ran into one. Lay that out. Yikes. Ow. Ow. Jerk. Alright, there we go. So you just got to be a little tactical. So we've cleared that out. That should, I mean, there's probably more bases back here, but for now, at least that's gone. And now one thing to mention is we do, I believe when we set up this map, we did have enemy expansion on, which means that they will expand their bases, like, you know, that they will, well, expand, it's self-explanatory. They'll keep expanding their area and creating new bases. So we do have to watch out for that. Now, if I were doing like a mega base, I would definitely not want expansion on, because your pollution in your base just grows so quickly that it becomes almost impossible to deal with it. It gets to a point where it's pretty much like constantly under attack. But in a situation like this, it's not quite as bad because we're not going to be building to that like gigantic scale. Now, it looks like we've actually placed a little too many labs here for the amount that these can supply. And one thing also I want to mention is someone reminded me, I knew this already, but I'd forgotten. You can do this cool trick where you can actually chain labs together by doing something like this. They will pull packs from one and put it in the next one. If I actually had a power pull, let's just stick that one there. You can see here, he's pulling from this, and it will kind of chain through. Now, this does have a bit of a limit. You can only do it so far until it just doesn't work, because so many packs are being pulled through it that the packs actually aren't being able to be used to research. They're being pulled out before they can get started. But this will allow us to fit some more labs here, because we could do like a whole nother row or two behind this. So we're going to put that back there for now, though. And stick these science packs in. Okay, let's grab some copper and stuff. Might as well grab some gears. We'll just take it off the belt. And let's go work on the oil itself. So we're making some ammo here. We should have a bit. Oh, yeah. Almost 2 entire stacks built up. Fantastic. I'm going to do another little temporary thing here. We do need to make them all, but I kind of just want this stuff like right now. We're going to make some pipes. Now, I could automate underground pipes, and normally, once we get like them all, I will. But at this point, making normal pipes is sufficient, because if you have those, it's pretty quick to make the undergrounds. Let's walk up here. So we have our 10 refineries. I'm going to handcraft some pipes while we're on our way up. So we have 2 of these already. I forgot we'd place these, so I actually have a little too many, but... So we need to set this up. So this is what? 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to have to clear a little room here. Yeah, this is definitely faster than having the steel pick item back before this version. So fit 2 more refineries here, and we should be in tip-top shape. Alright, just clear out these silly trees. Okay, boom. Oh. Almost. Okay, so we'll do this, oh, and again, copy paste, control right click, and if I just hold and run, I can just drag my mouse and do it as long as I'm in reach. And there we go. Okay, so then now, this is when, like, well, if we had robots, this is when a copy paste feature would be great, because I could just, like, copy paste this and place them down, but in this case, it doesn't really do anything. It'll create the ghost for me, but I already know exactly how I want to do it. And I still have to manually place them until we have bots, so it doesn't really help at this stage. But once we get bots, stuff like that would be awesome, because normally, previously, I would have had to create, you know, a blueprint, and then I would end up just throwing out the blueprint or whatever, and it'd take up inventory space. But now, thought those tree stumps were a cliff for, I mean, I was going to be pretty upset, because I wanted to build right there. Okay, and then these dudes, gonna need to make some more of these. So again, we can't do the cracking yet, but we can set it up to do cracking, like pre-place the machine. So, usually, like I said, I wing a lot of this stuff, guys. You'll watch other YouTubers who have all these pre-made blueprints that they do, and that's super cool. I have nothing against that. Personally, I like winging it because, like I said before, it helps me stay fresh, it helps me be creative, and kind of keep interest in the game rather than just plopping down a preset thing I've used 30 times already. Usually my builds end up almost the same as they previously were, but it's a little bit different each time, which I kind of like. Let's make some tanks. Now, storage tanks are a bit of a controversial topic. Most of the longtime players and mega basers like myself and many others are not fans of using more than like one tank on your stuff. And the reason for this is because, and they may have fixed this in version 17, we'll actually find out in this playthrough with some of the fluid changes. So what I'm about to say may not be relevant, but we won't know until we turn everything on and see. But the thing with tanks is they don't really pass liquids through them very well. If it's like full or halfway full or whatever, it will. But once it starts getting to a low amount, there's going to be like, if you imagine, like just in your mind, imagine that you see this little window that like there's a bit of liquid below the window and these pipes are above that. So there's like always a little bit that sits in the tank and never will drain out. It just won't drain out unless you like put pumps all over this, which is really kind of a pain in the butt to do. So personally, like, you know, we're not a fan. I'm not a fan of putting like 3, 4, 10, 30, and that's not an exaggeration. Some people do that, tanks on their liquids because there's just like so much wasted liquid in there that never moves out. Again, this may not be relevant. Now they may have changed this, but I'm not sure. So we are putting one tank there just so there's some storage, right? So we have more than just the pipe. Now I'm leaving this space here just so we have a little bit better space to work with. And this guy is going to be the heavy to light cracking. We don't have the recipe yet, but that's what it's going to be. Let's do that. And then take some more of these. And then these guys are going to be the light to petroleum, which getting this set up correctly is always a bit interesting. I'm spacing these out for the same reason I did these. One, for power pulls, but more importantly, for so we can work the pipes, because these are going to require water as well, and we need this extra space to get the water to work. So then these, again, are going to be the light to petroleum. So this is going to spit out light oil from the cracking of the heavy, and it's going to send it over here, and then this pipe's going to come down and over here, and take all this light oil and turn it into petroleum gas. And then we're going to plug this into a petroleum gas outlet, probably down at the end somewhere, and then we're going to get a ton of petroleum. What I may do is actually do a separate setup for the heavy oil, or not heavy oil, the solid fuel for blue science. And the reason is because we still need a ton of plastic and quite a few batteries to run a base, which all take petroleum. So I'm still pretty set on making only petroleum from this. Because if we change these ratios, it gets all wonky. I'd have to do a ton of math to figure out, like, if I take 2 of these away, how much leftover of each is going to be to make solid fuel. And if you want to do that type of thing, that's totally fine. But if it seems like it's too complicated, personally, I think it's completely valid. Just make a separate setup. Just and it can just do only solid fuel, and it's just way simpler. So like I could just take, we'll just do it like maybe over here or something, or over here, and just have, like, we don't need this many. Just do like maybe 3 or 4 refineries, and just have it turn everything into solid fuel. You can make solid fuel from all these. Some is more efficient, like this makes 1 solid fuel from 20 light oil, or 10 light oil, sorry, whereas it takes 20 petroleum to make a solid fuel here, and 20 heavy oil. So light oil is the most efficient, but if we do a separate setup, we'll just turn everything into solid fuel. It doesn't matter if it's in a separate setup, and then we'll just send all that to Blue Science. And I think that's what I'm gonna do, because it makes it really complicated to like figure out all these ratios if I take something away and then do a totally different recipe. So there's that. So let's see about hooking some of this up. Again, none of this is relevant at the moment until we get our advanced oil processing, but we'll get that as soon as we get Blue Science. So we're gonna need water. Now, I may have plugged this in the wrong side. I never remember what side the heavy oil plugs into. May have to move this over one if it's plugged in wrong. But we're gonna need some offshore pumps. We can probably get away with one. It doesn't actually require that much water. And remember that, I think I said the water plugs into this side. I had it down last episode, now I just forgot. So before I hook that up, I'm gonna think about it. Sometimes I just forget random detail. It's just a brain fart. Okay, so then over here, let's see. How do we want to bring our oil in, actually? Because this is kind of awkward building it here. We're probably gonna have to bring the rail up and around this lake and come in behind it, because bringing the oil in the front is gonna be kind of silly, because it's gonna have to like bypass all this. So I think we're gonna come around from the back. So what I'm gonna need to do, I'm gonna hold off on that for a minute. What I'm gonna need to do is, let's get some more research. Let's get the ability to make chemical science. Ooh, some gates would be nice. Engines would be great. Don't need modular armor quite yet. Lasers would actually be fantastic, as well as stack inserters. Just queue all that up. We need to make a ton of grenades. That's what we need to do. Because I'm gonna clear this. Like, I'll clear the forest off camera. That's really not that interesting, unless you get your kicks off seeing trees explode, which I personally do. It's quite amusing to blow up all the trees. Let's grab some iron, and since we have all these pipes made, I can now pretty easily make some underground pipes. I mean, they make pretty quick, and we're gonna need a lot of these, actually. We're gonna need a ton. You need a lot more than you'd think. And then these dudes, we can actually make level 2 assemblers. Don't need them quite yet. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this wood. Got a little bit of our anger. I'm gonna stick all this wood in here, because we don't need small power poles anymore, and to stick the pistol in there and the light armor. I'm gonna blow it up. Shoot it. Boom. It's gone. That's the only way in this game to actually completely get rid of something. Alright, how's power? Let's expand power a little bit here, because I know oil is going to put a fairly large demand on our power system. So it would be good to pre-expand it a bit, just get a little ahead of the game here. And yeah, so next episode, we're definitely going to get, like I said, I said previously, it would take several episodes to do. So next episode, we are going to get the rail set up for the oil. We're going to get all the pump jacks pre-made, and I'm going to put them on the oil. So the next episode, we should be able to get the rail set up, brought over. I will have pre-cleared these trees, and then we should be able to get things mostly hooked up for this oil as well. Now, military, I'd be interested, I want your guys' opinion again, on whether you would like me to make military science or not. Because one of the changes in 0.17 is that, we're going to move this back to, like, here. Oh. Wait, what? Okay. One of the changes is that you can actually now beat the game without making military science at all. They've changed the tech tree and stuff so that you don't even need to make military science to create a rocket and research it and beat the game. So I actually don't need to. And in terms of like fighting enemies, I can get fairly far. Well, not really. I mean, I can get projectile too. I can get lasers and stuff. However, if we do want to mess with power armor and stuff, I guess I do need to do military, don't I? You can't actually get power armor 1 without it. But you do need it for like any of the parts that go in power armor. So I guess we probably should do military. It's actually a lot easier now than it used to be. If we look here, it is a piercing ammo, a grenade, and 2 walls. Pretty straightforward. It used to take turrets, which if we didn't look at the recipe, is super expensive. So this is actually pretty straightforward. And we already have the bricks being made, so we can easily make the walls. Grenades are super straightforward. We'll just have to get some coal over there. And then the piercing ammo is pretty simple as well. So I guess we will. So I guess you don't need to leave me your feedback on that, because we do want to get power armor and stuff. So definitely going to do military. This is a little bit awkward. Okay, we're gonna rearrange that later. But this should be okay. Yeah, this brings us down to only about half usage now. And like I said before, we can expand this pretty far out. I believe it's 20 boilers, and then 2 engines per piece. So we're only like a fourth of the way there. And I believe that's gonna do it, guys. These episodes go by so quick; it's hard for me to keep track of time. But I think we are at time here. And yeah, so you can kind of see what this oil is going to shape up as. Like I said, I'll pre-clear the trees. I'll pre-make the pump jacks and the track and stuff. So next episode, we're getting this set up. We're getting it trained over. I think I'm going to come over back this way. And we will get it hooked up. And then hopefully actually place a little bit more for some solid fuel production for our chemical science as well. And that should be good. There's a lot of pre-work to do for this, because we also have to set up advanced circuits, which require plastic and all that. So this is a pretty big step we're at. So it may still take a couple more episodes to get everything fully ready for this. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it helpful. If you did, feel free to leave a like. And again, any questions or thoughts, leave down below. I am reading them when I can and replying and stuff. So I believe that does it. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.